Hi, my name is Manpreet Singh and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel focuses on real estate and mortgage insights. This channel aims to empower viewers with the knowledge to make informed decisions in the real estate market. Please subscribe to stay informed about the Canadian real estate market. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Maheep Mann. Maheep, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, bro.
I'm going to ask you a few questions and we'll take the conversation from there.
Let's go.
So my first question to all my guests is, how long have you been in the business and what exactly inspired or motivated you to join real estate?
Yeah, so good question. Good question. I've been a realtor since 2008. Mm-hmm. And that was never a goal to become a real estate agent. I didn't even, that was not even on the radar anywhere, okay? I was always somebody who wanted to be a police officer. Mm-hmm. You know, the little kids when you're growing up, cops and robbers.
Yeah.
I took that game very seriously, right? So I was my cousin's husband was a realtor, still is, and I remember he was doing a showing in Scarborough, right behind Scarborough Town Center. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in his car, and he had gone to show the condo upstairs, and there was a BMW M3, nice, clean, shiny, parked right there.
Nice.
License plate said TPRLTR. And I was sitting in the van by myself, so I walked up to the guy when he walked into his car. I said, "Nice car." He goes, "Thank you." I said, "What do you do?" He goes, "It says on my plate." I go, "What does that mean?" He goes, "TP means top, RLTR means realtor." Mm-hmm. I go, "You're a real estate agent?" Mm-hmm. He said, "Yes." I go, "That's funny because my cousin's husband's a real estate agent. And we're sitting in an old Honda Odyssey and you got a brand new BMW. How much money do you make?" He goes, $500,000, right?
Nice.
And I was like, this was 2006, 2007 time. I'm like, $500,000? I mean, in today's terms, it's still a lot of money, but back then, I was like making $1 million. The average price of a home was $300K, if that.
Yeah,
Let's imagine how many homes you had to sell to get there, right?
Yeah.
So I go, "How do I become a realtor?" He goes, "You just go to OREA." So I came home that day. I went to OREA, signed up as a realtor. And my only reason for becoming a real estate agent, I had no idea what was required of me. Only reason was that guy was making $500,000, right? And he had a nice car. I'm like, okay, initially was only so I could make more money.
So I think money was the biggest motivation.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
In your situation when you looked at, so somebody inspired you.
Yeah.
That particular guy, and you're going to remember him for the rest of your life, that directed you in the direction of becoming a realtor.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I'm going to move on to the second question now.
Okay.
That is, we work in a very competitive environment. Our industry is very competitive at this point of time. How do you set yourself apart? And how have you built your brand that is setting yourself apart from the crowd?
Yeah. So the thing is, man, and you'll know this, to be successful is not hard, okay? The only reason why most people aren't successful is because they're missing consistency, okay? You don't need skill. You don't need luck on your side.
Yeah.
You just need to be consistent in your daily activities. And you have to be smart enough to know what those daily activities are. And if you don't know, you can always find somebody to teach you. So what I did in real estate is literally I watched the people who were super successful. And there were 3 or 4 people in our marketplace where I was in Durham region, and I would collect their flyers that would come, right? And the day I would collect their flyers, I would write their date the day the flyer came. And over time, I understood they were flyering consistently every 2 weeks, most of them, right? So I said, okay, they're doing flyering. What else are they doing? So what did their flyer look like? I studied them, every single thing. In one of the flyers, one of the agents had written that he had a coach.
Okay.
Right? So I looked up that coach I had never heard the guy's name. I looked up the coach on Google, found the coach, saw that they were having an event in Toronto within a month or so. And this is when I've just brand spanking new to real estate. And the ticket to get to the event was $1,000. I didn't have $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I went to my dad. I'm like, I need a loan. He goes, I've already given you $6,000 to start your business, to print your cards and whatnot. I'm like, add 1 more thousand to it. Right. So I went to that event, and I realized that other activities you need to do as a real estate agent, income generating activities, prospecting.
And you were already a realtor at that point, right?
I was a realtor, yeah.
Okay.
So I learned you need to prospect. How do you prospect, right? Then you need to follow up. How do you follow up? So in my case, I've just been consistently doing those things. It doesn't matter what business you're in, real estate, fast food, it doesn't matter. You can own a gas station. As long as you're doing the activities that are going to generate the income consistently every single day, 5 days a week, every single month, you're going to be successful.
And remember how we were discussing before why not every realtor is successful. And you touched the base a little bit about training, how getting the right guidance and right training is very crucial, right?
Very important.
So did that help in your situation when you were starting out?
Yeah, because you know what? There's a lot of distractions for people, right? And every single person, if you look at it, if someone's selling your program somewhere to buy this program and you'll become successful, but you have to really truly focus on, and you have to be smart enough to figure that out for yourself. Is this guy telling me BS or is this guy actually going to generate me money? In my case, this is back in 2008, 2009. There was some talk of social media. Social media wasn't a big deal back then.
I can imagine.
Right? Back then, it was mostly about picking up the phone and calling because everybody had a landline.
Okay.
So I built my business literally by cold calling initially.
And Facebook was just starting.
It was just starting, and there were some people talking about using it for business, but there was no actual social proof of it working for business. So I just focused on the things I knew well. I focused on prospecting. I focused on lead follow-up, and that's how it happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I was watching some of your posts on social media about digital franchise. So what exactly is it?
So listen, I've been a guy who's always had more than one stream of income. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because every business has its own market. Yeah, and they go through those ups and downs.
100%.
Right, and so this is where I learned multiple streams of income. My wife and I were in Aruba. This is 2013, and the guy who was literally on the flight next to me, flying to Aruba, owned 65 Domino's pizzas at that time. Nice. And I remember talking to the guy, and he said, I said, so how's your pizza business? He goes, well, I'm in pizza business, and he had car washes and other businesses as well. So why aren't you just focusing on one? Because they always say just focus on one thing and make it blow up. And he said, listen, every single business you have to understand, your business can't become your identity. Right? The problem is people think your business becomes your identity. He said business is the way of generating cash flow. So you got to have different streams of income that generate cash flow. Right? So digital franchising is another avenue for me to generate cash flow. Okay. It's another avenue for me to use the skills I already have. Right? Leadership, mentoring, coaching, sales, and whatnot. Too, right? And network. And put in a small amount of time that'll generate cash flow on a monthly basis. Nice. Right? In my case, it pays for my cars, it pays for my nanny, and I have fun doing it. Amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it's working well for you. That's all it is. Anything and everything, like when we were talking, anything and everything will work for you.
As long as you're putting in the effort.
As long as you are putting in the right amount of effort that's needed.
That's true. And let's go back to real estate. Yeah. When you are working in a transaction of a real estate, who do you prefer working with, buyers or sellers, in your journey or in your experience so far in real estate?
So I'll take you back to when was it they announced the foreign buyers tax? Do you remember?
I think it was...
And the stress test, 2018?
2017 was the, I think, stress test.
Yeah.
But the foreign buyer tax was quite recent. I think maybe it's like 2-3 years ago.
So when they implemented that stress test in 2017, I had about, I think, 10 to 12 buyers I was working with.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I lost every single one of them.
The stress test or the foreign buyer tax?
I lost the buyers over the stress test because their affordability went down the drain.
Yeah.
And I mean, losing 10 to 12 buyers, that's almost like 180, 200 grand in commissions, correct?
100%.
And when you have a family and you're the single earner in the family, that you take a huge hit. So I was talking to the guy who's my mentor in real estate, and I asked him, I said, what do I do at this point?
Yeah.
He goes, you're working with buyers is like you looking for jobs every single day, right? He goes, who's employing you as a buyer agent? So what do you mean? He said the seller agent. The listing agent is the one that's employing you, that's creating the listing agent is listing the house, and 10, 20, 30 other people are showing their house to sell the house.
That's true.
The listing agent is just listing the house, correct?
Yeah.
He goes, so who do you want to be? Do you want to be a business owner or do you want to be an employee? I said, I don't want to be an employee ever again. He said, you need to go get listings. So do I have a preference on who I work with? Yes.
Sellers?
I excel at working with sellers because I figured out a system that works best for sellers. Would I work with a buyer? I would work with a buyer if I personally knew them, right?
But isn't it when you are listing a property,
Yeah.
your initial investment is a lot more than working with a buyer, right?
Yeah, that's
You have to spend money on the marketing. You have to do the videography and staging and all that stuff.
and
right?
that's where being the business owner comes in, right? Because as a business owner, you're making an investment into a business. You're taking a risk,
That's
a
true.
calculated risk.
That's true. That's
and
true.
And you got to make sure it sells.
I know some realtors, they are specifically working just with sellers.
Yeah.
And that's all they want to do is just list properties. And they do something you probably already know of called farming.
Yeah.
So they work in that region. That's my region. I'm trying to sell as many houses in this area, and people know you buyer.
And that's one of the best ways to become a listing agent, right? Because you have to set yourself up as the go-to expert.
True.
Like you're right now setting yourself up as a go-to expert when it comes to financing and mortgages, correct?
I'm trying.
Right? And you're working with top realtors.
Yeah.
So for a real estate agent who wants to list property, you have to set yourself as the market expert of one area.
Yeah.
Right? So
Makes
I have a lot of I'll hear agents say, hey, listen, they live in Mississauga. Well, I'm listing a house in Bowmanville, or they live in Bowmanville. I'm listing a house in Oakville. What do you know about Oakville?
That's true.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Right? So if you set yourself up as the market expert in a pocket, in a neighborhood, you are definitely going to be successful.
True.
It's going to take time and money, right? And hard work and consistency. But the fruits of that labor are just phenomenal.
That's very good to know that how, because my understanding before was that when you were listing a property as a real estate agent, you are compromising with your profit. Because working with a buyer, you get paid more, and then it's basically very less investment.
Depends on what you call profit. I call my time profit, right? Me running around with a buyer, showing them 30 properties.
That too, yeah.
And here's the other thing. If I do 4 listings a month, or if I show homes to 4 different buyers a month, I'm going to be a lot more exhausted working with 4 different buyers. Versus listing 4 properties and selling those.
Yeah.
Correct? So
you're also saving time.
It's a better use of my time, and it's a better use of my energy. And I would rather be the expert at selling a home where I can help that seller make the most amount of money.
Yeah. Plus, you have lived most of your life in your region.
Yeah.
As we were discussing before, the moment you came into the country, you were living in that east side, right?
Yeah.
So you know the area better.
Here's the other thing. And I also think listing agents are actually the best buyer agents. And I'll tell you why. Because a listing agent understands the negotiation game a listing agent will play with a buyer agent. A buyer agent has no idea.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I think the buyers will definitely gain value from.
And no offense to buyer agents.
Yeah.
They do a phenomenal job. They work really hard. And I think if majority of them understood how to do the same amount of business with a lot less time, they would go to the listing route.
Makes sense. And I was going to come back to social media.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time creating content.
Yeah.
In your case, has it helped you generating business, social media, or is it just helping you build your brand on social media?
I think it's hard for me to say that I can attach direct sales that came from social media. But what it's definitely helped with is people who want to work with you. Let's say they got your flyer, they got your newsletter, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They saw you advertising. And then they go on to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be, and then they see you there as well. It's just another layer of marketing. It's for example, somebody saying to me, if I put an ad on the back of a bus, and that's the only thing I do, I'm going to do business. No, you're not. It's a waste of your money, right? But if you add it as a layer of your marketing, 100%
And
you are.
the bus stand marketing.
Yeah, whatever it may be. So your flyers, your bus shelters, your bus ads, your social media, your door knocking, your open houses, you're being around, and that it's a layer of a marketing.
Yeah, when I first came into this country, I saw a lot of these the bus stand marketing, and of course the whole marketing on the bus itself, as well as some of the realtors. It's a little bit funny. They wrap the whole car with their own branding.
I've
And I
done
was
that.
like,
I wouldn't do it again.
yeah, I was like, what is this guy doing? I know you're a realtor, but how loud do you want to be, right?
Yeah.
But it was quite surprising when I initially came into this country. Was looking at realtors, how they market, how they are trying to compete with others.
Yeah.
But and so I have another question that I ask everyone that has been successful in their business,
Right.
And you are one of them. So that is that when we are struggling, like in our initial days of any business,
Okay.
we want to work as hard as possible.
Yeah.
14 hours, 15 hours, whatever I can do, I'll do it because I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
In your case, when you're already making decent money, you have seen you have seen success,
Yeah.
right? What is the motivator that keeps you going, or what is the igniter that wakes you up in the morning and that makes you go like, okay, these are the things I want to do, in my life.
So, like I told you, initially when I got into real estate, it was for the money, right? And I'll tell you honestly, once you've made 200, 250 grand,
Yeah.
up to $500,000, 600 grand, 700 grand, your lifestyle doesn't change much because you have the car, you have the house, you've taken the vacations. So what motivates you at that time? It's a great question. I think me personally, and if I look at people who are hustlers, it's not about the money. It actually never is. Once you've gotten to a certain point, it never is about the money at that point. It becomes about, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
That's just who you are. That's just how your genetic makeup is, right? You cannot accept you're a competitive person. You cannot be lazy. You're not.
Or you're now addicted
lazy.
to working.
Yeah, you're addicted to working. It has a little negative connotation to it, but I think you're just somebody who is gonna take action no matter what. And if you look at life,
or you're enjoying the game now, maybe.
Yeah, enjoying the game 100%. You do it for the love of the game, but I think you're somebody who's always accepted the fact that you're gonna take action no matter what, right? You're alive, you're breathing, you're taking action by breathing, correct?
Yeah.
And everybody takes action.
Yeah.
So every single morning, if you've made it, you have a choice, you can sleep. But the people who are addicted to taking that action, they get a kick out of it, right? When they win a negotiation for their client, when they win a listing over another agent, it becomes about that.
True.
And then when people say, "Oh, this guy's making a lot more money. Why is he still working?" It's not about the money.
Yeah.
Right?
At one point, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
Because what happens is some people, when they get a nice car or nice house, they're like, now it's time to relax. I'm making decent amount of money on a monthly basis. I want to go on vacation every 2 months, and maybe go out eat every second night. And the lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, I know I'm successful. In their mind, they're already successful. They're like, I don't need to work hard anymore.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you don't get into that trap in your life and hustle no matter what your income has. Even if your income is 10x right now than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Still keep on working hard. It's very important, and wake up with the same enthusiasm that I'm going to achieve more in my life. And I was going to come back to your initial days in the country, right? And when you were starting real estate.
Yeah.
How were those days when you first came in?
It was tough. As a realtor?
As a realtor or as a new immigrant?
Well, I came to the country in 1994. I became a realtor in 2007,
Almost 30 years.
2008. Yeah, 30 years ago. 30? 40? Is that 30?
30, yeah.
30 years ago, you're right. Yeah, 43, so not 40. So it wasn't easy because I was born and raised in India. It's a back then was a completely different world as to what it was in Canada. You come here right now, there's snow outside. When you just come here from India, you don't want to be out in the cold.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
You have no friends.
Mm-hmm.
all the friends you had as a teenager, I was 13, you left your friends back home.
True.
Right? So you go through a tough time. At one point, my mom and I had decided we were going to go back to India. We weren't going to live here. That was 94. We came in 95. We were supposed to go back. But here's the thing. As time goes on, the way the world is, the way nature is, you adapt.
You adapt. Yeah.
You adapt, right?
Yeah.
So within the next 6 months, I adapted. I made friends. So I was good, right? So I caught my footing.
And then you did your studies from...
I went to high school, finished high school in Canada, went to university.
Nice.
I was never a studious guy. I never was. The courses that I wanted to take, I wasn't allowed to take because my, Indian family, you either got to be a doctor, an accountant, or a lawyer.
How did you decide to become a cop then?
Well, in India, everybody from my dad's side, they're in the army.
Oh, okay.
Right? My dad's uncle is a cop. My dad's father is a retired army officer. My chacha, my dad's brother, is in the army. My dad was supposed to be in the army, but my dad ended up going into, I think it's IIT in Delhi or ITI, whatever it's called.
Yeah, IIT.
The technological side. So he was in the techie side. To become a cop, it was just something that just came naturally. Right? I always wanted to be. But when things aren't meant to be and you're meant to do something else, the way the world works is just you end up somewhere completely different.
I think that stage of life, those days in every person's life is very important.
Yeah.
Is when you're deciding which direction I'm going to go in. Because if you take the wrong exit, you're going to have a very different life when you reach 30, 40 years of your age, right?
And here's the other thing. We don't know what we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So when I was supposed to be a police officer, but I didn't get into policing, I took that as, I failed.
Oh, okay.
Right? But at that time, if I had known what was coming for me, I would have been like, this is not a problem because look where I'm going. Right? So every single failure that comes your way as a new immigrant or not an immigrant, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your new job, new career, new business. Every failure that comes your way, instead of letting it beat you down, you got to stop and ask, what is this failure trying to teach me? What am I supposed to learn from this? We ask a different question. We ask, why did I fail? Instead of saying, what am I supposed to learn? What's the lesson coming my way? So I cannot repeat this again.
True.
Fair enough.
You learn with your mistakes and 100%. Your failures. And that's the right mindset to have whenever you see a failure in a life is what else I can do in the future to avoid these failures or these mistakes. And then who knows what the future holds, right? It might be something even better for you, right?
100%.
And I'm going to ask you one last question and we can wrap it up from there.
Okay.
Is Canada in 2008, 2009, when you started real estate, how different it is from 2024 and 25, specifically if somebody's deciding to join real estate?
If someone's trying to become a realtor, it's not a bad time.
Right now?
No, it's definitely not a bad time. People are going to tell you that it's a bad time or Canada is going through a rough time. I think the entire world is going through a rough time. Right?
Yeah.
And there's always I don't know if you know a guy named Jim Rohn. He's a motivational speaker, or was. I think he's passed away.
Okay.
And somebody asked him, he tells the story that somebody asked him that, what do you think is going to happen for our company, whichever company that was, in the next year? And he said, I can tell you easily. I know a lot of smart people, and I know exactly what's going to happen in your company in the next 12 months. He said the same thing that happened last 12 months, right? So why do I share that story? The reason why I share that story is because life will always repeat in a cycle. Okay? You're going to have good times, you're going to have tough times, you're going to have good times again. You're going to have tough times again.
Yeah.
What is your focus on? Are you focused on, is Canada not a good place to work, not to live? Where are you going to go?
I mean, we're always going to have excuses, right?
Right? You can always say, no, I'm going to go somewhere else. You can go, okay. Those people will always start something, fail, and start something else. Failed and start something else.
That's true.
Okay? If you are somebody who's hardworking, if you are somebody who is committed to having a better life, I don't think there is another country on this planet that can come as close as to what Canada has made for people. People who are willing to work hard. Right?
And that's really important. What you touched is a lot of people that I would expect that answer from them would be, don't get into real estate right now because it's not a good time. But you are an honest person. That's why I'm looking at the positivity that's coming from you, is that you're motivating the viewers right now to get into real estate. So that just proves, and you know how you were saying about the mentor in the beginning?
Yeah.
And with the right coaching, with the right direction, I think nothing is impossible.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. So I was going to wrap it up with these questions. And,
I just want to make one point. As you said, nothing is impossible. It is very true. As long as you know what your why is, what drives you every single day. And your why has to be bigger than who you are. It can't just be about you. Maybe it's about your family. Maybe it's about your kids. Maybe it's about your community. Maybe it's about your colleagues or people you want to bring along with you. As long as your why is very strong and you're focused on it, dude, I think, I mean,
your why has to be strong.
Look at Elon Musk. Dude was like literally one launch away from bankruptcy. Right? And he still launched the third or fourth launch of SpaceX. And he succeeded. Because his why was strong. Because he's focused on making mankind a multiplanetary species. That's his only why. That's the only thing he's like completely obsessed with. Right?
You know, when you touched Elon Musk, there's another point I want to emphasize since we are talking about him is how he used his personal branding to benefit Tesla and now SpaceX, right? So it goes to our business too. It's very important to have a personal branding and personal standing. You have to stand out in the market. And that's what a lot of realtors also missing at this point is to...
People are too afraid to be themselves, bro. Right? They're too afraid of being judged. And listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stand here and pound my chest and say I'm Rambo or something. No, but you have to get over what others are going to think of you. Because when it comes time to paying your bills and you go ask, I come to you and say, hey, can you give me 10 grand to pay my bill this month? You can't. So why do I care what you think of me?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, express yourself.
Right? Just be you, do you, be happy because you literally got one life, one shot, and you don't know when that shot's going to be done.
I mean,
take your shot, man.
There couldn't have been better words than this. What you just said is you only have one life and don't live your life with regrets. And give whatever you have and don't worry about the results.
100%. Give you 100% every single day.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, brother.
And thanks a lot for coming. I had an amazing conversation. And I'm sure the viewers, even if they are first-time home buyers or they are sellers or they are even realtors, they gain some value from 100%. This conversation.
I hope they did. And if they ever needed help, this is a phenomenal guy to reach out to right here.
Same goes to me. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you.